Hello everyone, happy Saturday evening to you. Thought I would do a video and share the contents of this box as it arrived today. I was actually thinking about doing a video that would be the first installment of 1983 Donruss Hall of Fame Heroes, but I got this in the mail. I kind of know what's in it. I can't remember everything. I believe it's several team sets as well as a lot of extra star cards, but it's all New York Yankees 1985 tops. Loaded with, besides the team sets, I think it's supposed to be loaded with a lot of extra Dave Winfield and Don Mattingly. So, anyway, I wanted to share that in a short video, and I got this in the mail. This will go in my side of my Yankee PC. Growing up, my dad was a big Yankee fan, and I live in Northeast Ohio, so I became a Cleveland fan because of the fact that it's so close to where we live. And so I've been collecting Cleveland stuff for about 8 years now since I moved to Ohio. But my dad, I've always collected Yankee stuff because my dad was, Yankee fan. I grew up rooting for the Yankees with my dad. My dad became a Yankee fan after being a Oakland A's fan most of the late 60s, early 70s, because Catfish Hunter came from just down from where I grew up, North Carolina. And my dad loved Catfish Hunter. He became a Yankee fan after Catfish joined the Yankees, and Charlie Finley refused to pay him what he was worth. This arrived today. I was shocked to see it. I didn't think I was ever going to see this. I purchased this about 3 months ago. That's how long this has took to get to me, and it was from a newer seller that had very little feedback. And because this was a nice card of Mickey Mantle, this one is a Donruss, which is not as big a deal. And you can see missing the New York logo. Not as nice of a card at all of Mantle, but that's a nice Topps card. Anyway, almost any card of Mantle, even cards like this, more modern cards, go for $1 a piece at the minimum. You'll notice most lots, like people will put cards like this together in lots, and they'll usually sell for an average of $1 a piece on what the lot will go for. So, seller, I didn't think no more about it because I buy so much stuff and time, I got so much other stuff going on. I'm doing stuff on other sides, got stuff coming in. Forgot about it. Well, eBay has this little deal where they give you a suggested time range that you should receive an item when you win or, when you buy an item. Well, it's like a 5 day window that they estimate you'll receive the item. And once that 5 days is up, they will start sending you push notifications on your phone constantly every day telling you, not to mention emails, but they'll be wanting you to leave feedback for your item, even if you haven't got your item. And it gets annoying. And because of that, that's usually when I start after a couple of days of you need to leave feedback, push notifications. I could turn them off, but then I also would lose notifications on if I sell something or, if I'm bidding on an item, stuff like that. So anyway, the seller had not marked it as shipped or anything. And the seller only had like 30 feedback. So I want to say something in this video. If you're a new seller out there, whether I don't care what platform you're on, when you sell an item, if you put it in an envelope and you put it in the mail, if you're not shipping eBay standard envelope and you're shipping with a plain white envelope with a stamp on it, which is what this guy did, mark it as shipped. Okay, there's an option on your sales on eBay. You can just go in and mark it as shipped. And what that tells me as a buyer is that you shipped it with a plain white envelope. But when you leave it as nothing at all, which is what this guy left it as, it looks to me like, well, this guy hasn't even shipped the cards yet. It's been 2 weeks since I should have already received it, and he still hasn't even put it in the mail. That's what it looks like on my end. So at that point, I message the seller and I ask him, have you shipped this yet? And I don't get a response. This is another thing. If you're a new seller on eBay or any other platform, check your messages, log in daily, check your notifications, because when I sent him a message and asked him, did you ship this? All he had to do was tell me, yeah, I put it plain white envelope with a stamp on it. It was a $2 purchase. So I would have been like, okay, no problem. I get nothing. Crickets. Okay. So it gets to where, I just let it go. A whole nother week goes by. Still nothing. I sent him one more message asking him, hey, never heard back from you. Did you ship this item? Crickets. We get down to where, as a buyer, I've got 30 days after the last date on the eBay expected time range that I should have received this. I've got 30 days from that last date to open an item not received case. That's me waiting 30 days on top of the 2 weeks that eBay felt I should have got this by, based on when I purchased it. I opened up an item not received case. At that point, the seller, that would have been when eBay contacts them and says, hey, buyer has opened up item not received case. The seller suddenly responds to eBay that they did have this mailed out. So I'm thinking at that point, great, he did ship it then, but why didn't he mark it as shipped? And why has he ignored my messages asking him about this? Well, I never got anything. eBay, from the time I open up item not received case, eBay gives the seller 7 days to either get me the card or my money back. And I would have closed the case and waited if the seller had talked to me up front. When I messaged them, I would have never even opened it. Really, it's a $2. This was $2. I would have let it go, and then if I just never got it, it would have been on me. But it was $2. I would have not even opened a case at that point. But once I opened it, I wasn't going to close it. When I seen his message that, well, these were shipped, at that point, I'm like, well, why didn't he mark it as shipped if he shipped it? And I'm thinking, this is a new guy. I'm going back and looking at his feedback. I've already seen he's got now, since I had bought these, since then he's already got one negative from somebody else. And I'm thinking this is a guy that just started selling recently, and now he's not paying attention to his account. He's ignoring messages. He's not shipping cards. So I left the case open. Well, on day 6 that I had the case open, I all of a sudden get a message from this guy telling me that he did ship these and that he doesn't know why I haven't gotten them. And here we are 3 months later, 3 months since I bought these, and they show up in my mailbox today. And so anyway, my message about this, if you're a new seller out there, or even if you're a veteran seller, I don't care what platform it is, if you sell something and you ship it, mark it as shipped, okay? If this guy had just marked it as shipped, I wouldn't have been wondering, because see, it made me think, especially him being newer account on eBay, it made me think the guy hadn't even put it in the mail. I don't care if you ship it, in a plain white envelope with a stamp at all. Just let me know by marking it as shipped. And let me know by not ignoring my messages until a month later when I open up a case with eBay that I never got the item. Now I feel bad about this because I got this. Now it's 3 months later. You know whose fault that is then? It's on USPS, not him, not eBay, not me at all, of course, either. But this is on the Postal Service and how pathetic they are. If you happen to be watching, you're the guy that sold me these, reach out to me in a message or check your messages, because I actually am messaging you today to tell you, give me your email. I'll send you your money to pay through your PayPal. I will send it to you immediately. Okay. Anyway, that makes me feel bad, but that goes to show you never know what can happen. I thought this was a newer seller that was just all of a sudden like, okay, I'm not sending out cards. I'm just going to, whatever. And turns out he was screwed by the Postal Service. And I know that happens because even us, the guys that's been around for a long time, we get screwed by the Postal Service. It happens. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, share that. I'm really thrilled to get those cards, even though they're not worth that very much. It's nice. It goes with, the type of stuff. I love anything all-time greats like that. I love, players from, the old days. That's me. Now, I'm having trouble getting this box open because I can't tell where it's supposed to open at. I've never seen something quite like that. I cut the tape on these two sides. Okay, here it is. Here we go. Well, no, apparently that's not it either. So this is weird. I see now. It opens right here, I think. Bear with me here, guys. Oh man, do not ship cards this way. This guy threw loose Don Mattingly's in here like that. You see that right there? Just loose. Well, that's actually not loose. There's the Mattingly in the top loader. He threw some other cards in here. They're just loose Yankees. I'm guessing these were supposed to be team sets. I'm guessing he had some extras and he just threw those in here. There's bubble wrap. Okay, from what I remember on the listing, every one of these is supposed to be an 85 Topps Yankees team set. Now, what makes that special is this is Mattingly's second year. It's also got Dave Winfield, Yankee greats like Ron Guidry, Phil Necro's in this set. So there is some star value. Here's another extra Mattingly just threw loose in the box. I don't know what the deal was with that. These are all supposed to be individually wrapped team sets. I remember this was supposed to be a mini snap tight, which you don't see these much anymore. Back when I was a kid, mini snap tights were pretty popular, which is also what that team set right there is in. But this is supposed to be all Dave Winfield All-Star cards from 85 Topps. Here is some more loose Yankees. Here's another team set, and a snap tight, another team set and a snap. No, that's not a, I don't know what this is because that is a lot of freaking cards, more than these others. There's another loose Yankee card, and here is what's supposed to be another Yankee team set. Um, Let me see here. We've got, let's see what this says. We are writing to inform you that regrettably the enclosed item has been damaged and handled by the U.S. Postal Service. Letter from the Postal Service. We understand how important your mail is to you. You have every right to expect it to be delivered intact and in good condition. All mail deserves proper care. That's probably why some of these cards are loose. They probably busted this, and that's why I had trouble getting into the box. Let me see here. They had, yeah, this is not the original box, I guess. This was probably put into a different box by them and shipping label, new shipping label and everything, somewhere like DC or something. If the content is insured, blah, 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 blah. That's a letter from the Postal Service. So anyway, this is why these, and that's why this right here's even got moisture on it. So these cards, yeah, no, that ain't on the, thank goodness, that's not on the inside of the case. That's on the outside. Something was spilled on that. But anyway, this should be 2, 3. I see that Mattingly got nicked on the end there. That's 3. This is 4. This is 5. This is 6. Okay, it was supposed to be, I believe, 8 team sets. 2, 4. That's 6. So apparently, this is 8. An extra Mattingly and a top load, and the extra Winfield All-Stars, which the way the guy had it listed, I was expecting a whole lot more of those. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. I'm assuming, and I ain't going to do it on camera. It'll take too long, but I'll go through and figure out if this is definitely, every card here is different. What they did, they busted the case, probably damaged a snap tight or something, and then they just threw all these cards in here loose. But anyway, this was yeah, and then they threw some, they opened up this one, threw some of them in here. So this is probably 2 team sets, and that's why they were in here loose. Oh, this actually also, this team set, it's no big deal nowadays, but it included Mike Pagliarulo's rookie card. Boy, he was a great young player when he first came up. Had some power. Wasn't a great contact hitter, but played an awesome third base. And this is these cards are in really, really good shape, the ones that were not loose and damaged. I hate that one Mattingly got damaged, but I was going to show you. Don Baylor was in this. It's also got the Jose Rio rookie. Guidry, who I loved. My dad loved him as well. Dave Winfield in the set. Yogi Berra manager cards. A lot of Hall of Famers, of course, with this. There's Mattingly again. Yeah, I'm sure that this also, it's got a Rigetti. I think about 82 Topps was his rookie. So, but Griffey Sr. in this set. A lot of great players. I was going to show the key cards. Phil Necro in this team set. Yeah, this is two different team sets because I'm back to the Jose Rio rookie. Um, but anyway, really, there's another Mattingly. So also the Yankees had longtime star second baseman Willie Randolph, who I loved as a kid growing up. And but this right here, anyway, I paid. It was $4.95 for shipping, and I won this. The only person that bid on it won this lot, $6 bid. To me, for that many different team sets and all these Mattingly second years, even though it got damaged, I got all the cards. The cards are really not that damaged, other than a couple of dings. And so what? I mean, and even Extra Winfields, who's a Hall of Famer, um, I'm thrilled with this lot for what I gave for it because to me, this is like it goes. It fits my collection. With this right here, I know what I'm getting. I knew what I was getting, and I knew that I wanted to keep every bit of it for my collection because it was team sets and Hall of Famers. Like, the extra cards in it was Hall of Famers. So it's different. It's not like that I've got to sort through all this stuff that I don't want and then get rid of all this base common crap or junk era wax that I don't want and to pull out a handful of stars. And just since I'm already here, we're already up 20 minutes anyway. We'll go through this team set real quick. Don Mattingly, second year card. These aren't centered that great here. Some of them. Ron Guidry, longtime Yankee ace. Dave Winfield, Hall of Famer. John the Count Montefusco, who is better remembered for his days with the San Francisco Giants. Dale Murray, a very good relief pitcher at one time. Dave Righetti. Actually, Murray's better days was with the Blue Jays, I believe, before the Yankees got him. Righetti, of course, great Yankee player for many years. Ken Griffey, Sr., who was a great player with the Reds and Yankees. Bobby Meacham. He was a former first-round pick of the St. Louis Cardinals. Never really turned into the player that many in the Yankees organization hoped he would. Tim Foley, longtime Major League shortstop. Member of the 79 We Are Family Pirates World Champions. Omar Marino, another member of that team and a great speedy outfielder for a lot of years. Phil Necro, the older knuckleball brother. Pagliarulo rookie again. And here is Rio, who sadly the Yankees traded. Well, they had to trade him. They wanted Ricky Henderson. The A's demanded that Rio be through in the deal. Sad part for the A's is they traded him to the Cincinnati Reds, where he became an ace. Oscar Gamble, great player back in the 70s for many teams. Jay Howell, who was young at this point, also another young guy that the Oakland A's insisted on getting for Ricky Henderson. Howell went on to in his own right, great career as a relief pitcher. This is a guy I don't really remember. Clay Christensen, Bob Shirley, I remember him. Very good pitcher at times for the Yankees. He had been a starter before that for teams like the Reds, Cardinals, Padres. Mike Armstrong, I remember him. Seemed like he came up with Kansas City. Willie Randolph, of course. Steve Kemp, who was a star with the Detroit Tigers, but never really did nothing after he left Detroit. He had, I think, one good year with the Chicago White Sox. Joe Cowley, good stuff at times. Came up with the Braves. Ray Fontenot, who the Yankees traded later with this guy, Brian Dayette. I can't remember who they got, but they traded them both to the Cubs. Andre Robertson, former utility player. Butch Weiniger. Weiniger was never the same player. He had some, decent years for the Yankees. The Yankees platooned him, but he had been a almost all-star level catcher with Minnesota. Never was quite that good with the Yankees. Marty Bostrom, popular with the Phillies at one time, but never lived up to what many thought, was going to be a great career. Rick Serenay, long time catcher for many teams, including the Yankees on a couple of times. Don Baylor. Don Baylor was a great player. Toby Harrell was a great player for a lot of years, including here in Cleveland. Dennis Rasmussen. Never turned out to be as great as the Yankees thought he were going to be when he was this young. He did have one big year in '86 for them, and there's the Yogi Berra manager card. So that's that team set. Thank you all for watching. I'll wrap this video up. Hopefully be back with better, more, going through some set stuff coming soon. I just wanted to share this mail today. I wasn't expecting that letter and damage from UPS. or USPS, but I'm happy still overall with this team set lot for what I gave for it, and I'm thrilled to get these